guys, which is the core of the class anyway, right? Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah. Then we reached al-Hadith al-Khamisu wa Thalathun, the 35th Hadith. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Abu became Abi after An, and Hurayra is Majroor, Mudaf ilayh, except it is Mamnu min as-Sarf. It's a feminine looking name. It doesn't take tanween nor kasras when Majroor, so it's Majroor with a fatha. رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Rasul is the fa'il, marfu' the doer, Allahi lafzul jalala mudaf ilayhi majroor, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He said, لا تحاسدوا ولا تناجشوا ولا تباغضوا ولا تدابروا ولا يبع بعضكم على بيع بعض وكونوا عباد الله إخوانا. لا تحاسدوا from ha, sin, dal, meaning to envy. But this form here is form 5, or rather form 6 rather, and it has to do with between one another. So la tahasadu means do not envy one another. Wala tanajashu. Tanajashu meaning to drive up, meaning to drive up prices on one another. Meaning if there's an auction or something like that, or not even necessarily an auction, an official auction, but you see someone trying to buy something and the guy tells them 6 and you say, hey, I'll give you 7 for it. Just trying to get him to say, I'll give you 8. Just trying to drive the price up on him. And you don't really want the product. You're not really competing for it. You don't really want it. You're just doing it to drive the price up. This is tanajashu. And it again, it's between one another. Don't do it to one another. Wala tabaghadu from ba, ghain, bod. Bughd, which is anger and hatred. Wala tabaghadu, and do not hate one another, or do not hate one another. Wala tadabaru, dabara, meaning the backside. The dubur is your backside, right? Tadabaru, meaning don't turn your backs on one another. Right? La tadabaru. Don't turn your backs on one another. Wala yabi' ba'dukum ala bay'i ba'din. And do not basically sell, or here it could be buy upon the sale of another. Right? Do not undercut one another. Basically, do not. You find someone, you bay', so you're selling. La yabi' ba'dukum ala bay'i ba'din. So for instance, you got, this is something that we see here. Normally in America, from what I know of business, if someone has a cell phone shop, you don't open up a cell phone shop right next to them. Rather, you go somewhere else and open up a cell phone shop. Here, all the cell phone shops are right in a row. Right in a row. All the chandelier shops are next to each other. All the mechanic shops right next to each other. All the plumbing stores right next to each other. So what you do is you don't see someone selling. He's selling a product to someone, and then you come and say he says that he has someone agreeing to 10. It's the opposite of tanajashu. He sees someone buying it for 10, and you come and say, hey, I'll give it to you for 9.5. Right? You don't undercut them in the sale. Meaning, tanajashu is that you drive the price up, and you don't even really want the product. لا يبيع بعضكم على بيع بعض is you do not undersell the person. So you see them having a sale, and then you come and they've already basically made an agreement, and then you come and do it for less. Now, if you're willing to go down to 9 before the agreement, then and the person asks you, then you ask them, but you don't insert yourself in their sale, right? This would be in the prohibition. Wakunu, the plural command form. Takununa, kunu, and be ibadallahi, ikhwanan. Be, it should be as if it says ya ibadallahi. Be, O slaves of Allah, ikhwanan, brothers. Be what? Be brothers, ikhwanan. Or it could be ya ibadah. This could be, as we said, ya here, and we know that after ya something mudaf ilayh is mansub, right? Ya Rasulallah. It could be O slaves of Allah, brothers, or it could be slaves of Allah, brothers, right? Either way, the meaning is similar. The meaning is similar. Be slaves of Allah, brothers, or be O slaves of Allah, brothers. Be slaves of Allah adds a little more hint of meaning there, meaning that be slaves of Allah, don't be slaves of the dunya, and don't be slaves of your own desires and your own, emotions, and be brothers. But at the same time, they're both very similar. Any questions so far? Okay, he says here, Al-Muslim, Akhul Muslim. The Muslim is the brother, Akhu al-Muslim. He's the brother of a Muslim. La yadlimuhu, from la lam mim, meaning to oppress or do wrong. He doesn't wrong him. Wala yakhdhuluhu, from khadala, meaning to turn his back on him. La yakhdhuluhu, meaning he doesn't turn away and turn his back on him, meaning in his time of need like this, right? Not the same as tadabaru. Tadabaru, you turn away from each other because you're mad. Yakhdhuluhu would mean like to fail him, to turn your back on him at the time when he needs you. Wala yahqiruhu, in ha qaf ra, meaning to despise him, to have disdain for him, to look down on him. Wala yahqiruhu, and he doesn't despise or disdain him. At-taqwa, piety, righteousness, fear of Allah, that barrier between you and the punishment of Allah. Ha huna, ha, this ha here is a harful tanbih, a letter of bringing your attention. Ha huna, meaning it is here basically. Huna is here. Ha, this ha is bringing your attention. right? It's just getting your attention. التقوى ها هنا ويشير from shin ya ra. The verb is shara yushiru. Ashara yushiru, meaning to point. ويشير إلى صدره ثلاث مرات. And he pointed إلى صدره, to his chest. صدر, to his chest. ثلاث مرات, 3 times. التقوى ها هنا. التقوى ها هنا. التقوى ها هنا. He pointed to his chest 3 times. Then he said, if I can get it in there. بحسب امرئ. بحسب. Hasbi has to do with accounting. Here it kind of means it's enough. It's considered. Like when you count something, you consider it. بحسب امرئ من الشر. Or it's sufficient for a man. من الشر. Imri or imru'un is a man. Then we have imra'atun, a female. Right? When we add an alif lam, we drop this. We just say al-mar'u. Right? Al-mar'u ala or rajulun al-mar'u ala dini khalilihi. A man is on the religion of his friend. Right? Bihasbi, here we're going to say it's considered or it's sufficient. Right? Imri'in, for a man, min ash-shar, from evil. And yahqira, that he despises or looks down. Khahu, he despises his brother. Al-Muslim, his Muslim brother. Meaning it's sufficient evil. It's enough of an evil. It's considered evil enough for a man to look down upon his Muslim brother. Kullu Muslim, all of a Muslim. Ala al-Muslim, on another Muslim. Haram, it's haram, it's prohibited. Damuhu is blood. Dam is blood. Wa maluhu, his wealth. Wa irdu, and his honor. And we had part of this hadith in the past inside of the adab and azkar book. All of the Muslim upon another Muslim haram. Kullu muslimi ala al-muslimi haram. Damuhu wa maluhu wa irduhu. His blood, his wealth, and his honor. Rawahu Muslim. Muslim narrated it. Any questions? Fadal.
You went past a long time ago, but ya ba'dukum ala ba'din. Okay. I'm thinking you said like, don't try to undersell him. I thought that was ya ba'dukum.
Naam.
You're saying the whole. Okay, that's what I'm saying. The whole phrase Allah ba'din.
Right. La yabi', and do not sell ba'dukum. Some of you. That's the fa'il.
Okay.
Some of you do not sell. Some of you ala, on the bay', the sale or the transaction of others.
Okay.
So don't some of you sell on the transaction of others.
Okay, so bay is a transaction.
No.
All right.
Bay' is transaction, yeah, or sale.
Yeah.
Okay, did you pronounce a shada that is fake shada that's not there when you said demuhu? It sounds like you said dem muhu.
I can't hear anything you're saying. You're breaking up so bad in and out. Other brothers hear him clearly?
Yeah.
Nah.
What was his
Said on
question?
Let
the
You said
he said on the meme, it sounded like it was pronounced with the shadda.
Which me?
Demmuhu.
Demmuhu.
On the demmuhu.
No, demuhu. It doesn't have a shadda. Demuhu.
okay.
If I said
Okay,
it, it's
that's
my
why
mistake.
now.
طيب. Abdullah, اقرأ لنا.
Um, عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تحسدوا ولا تنجسوا جسوا ولا تبغضوا ولا تدابروا ولا يائع بعضكم على بيع بعض وكونوا عباد الله إخوانا المسلم أخو المسلم لا يظلمه ولا يخذله ولا يحقره التقوى هاهنا ويسر إلى ستره ثلاث مرات بحسبه إريء من الشر أن يحقر أخاه مسلم كل المسلم على المسلم حرام دمه وماله وإرده رواه مسلم.
Yeah, Baba Tahir.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تحسدوا ولا تناجشوا ولا تباغضوا ولا تدابروا ولا يبيع بعضكم على بيع بعض وكونوا عباد الله إخوانا المسلم أخو المسلم لا يظلمه ولا يخذله ولا يهكروه التقوى هاهن ويشير إلى صدره ثلاث مرات بحسب امرئ من الشر أن يهكر أخاه المسلم كل مسلم على مسلم حرام دمه وماله وإرده رواه مسلم.
Down here.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تحسدوا ولا تناجسوا ولا تباغضوا ولا تدابروا ولا يبيع بعضكم على بيع بعد وكونوا عباد الله إخوانا المسلم أخو المسلم لا يظلمه ولا يخذله ولا يا يحقر التقى التقوى هنا ويشير إلى صدره 3 مرات بحسب امرئ من الشر أن يحقر أخاه المسلم كل المسلم على مسلم حرام دمه وماله وإرده رواه مسلم.
No. The next hadith is a long hadith. We studied some of it previously, and I don't think it'll be a problem in covering it, inshallah ta'ala. الحديث السادس والثلاثون, the 36th hadith. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال. عن أبي هريرة, Abu became Abi after An. Hurayrata is majroor, but it's mamnu min as-sarf, so it's majroor with a fatha. Radiyallahu anhu, عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, نبي بعد عن صلى الله عليه وسلم قال. من نفس عن مؤمن كربة من كرب الدنيا. من نفس, من whoever. Nafasa is form 2 of Nun Fa Sin, meaning to make easy or light or to relieve. An mu'minin, whoever makes easy or relieves or makes light. An mu'minin, for a believer. Kurbatan, kurba from kaf ra ba, meaning a difficulty, an anxiety, a thing of torture or pain or worry or stress, some type of difficult or affair or matter which is heavy. So whoever makes light for a believer a stressful or difficult affair. Min kurab dunya, from the kurab is the plural of kurba. From the difficult affairs of the dunya. Right? Let me see how they translate it here. 1 second.
Difficult there.
Grief. One of the words they use is grief. Whoever removes a worldly grief from a believer. What? Man nafasa an mu'minin, whoever makes light for a believer. Kurbatan, makes light what? Makes one of the difficult, heavy, grieving, sorrowful, anxiety type of matters. Min kurab dunya, from those same words that we just gave of the dunya. Nafasallahu, Allah, Lafdul Jalala is the fa'il. Allah will make easy, will make light, will relieve anhu, from him. Kurbatan, one of those same things, a difficulty, a grief, an anxiety, a stressful matter. Min kurabi yawm al-qiyamah, from the difficulties or heavy things on the day of judgment. So whoever helps a believer in a difficult thing in this worldly life, Allah will help him or relieve him one of the difficulties on the day of judgment. وَمَنْ يَسَّرَ عَلَى مُعْسِرٍ. وَمَنْ يَسَّرَ, and whoever makes easy. يَسَّرَ, from yusra, إِنَّمَا yusri usra, right? with every difficulty, or with every, inna min usri yusra, with every difficulty there's ease. Yassara, this is to make easy. Similar to nafasa, to make light. Here, to make easy. Ala mu'sirin, from usra, upon one who's in difficulty. Mu'sirin, one who's in difficulty. Whoever alleviates, right? Whoever makes it easy upon the one who is having a difficult time. Yassar Allahu alayhi fi dunya wal akhirah. Allah will make things easy alayhi upon him fi dunya wal akhirah. We see dunya here is majroor, but it never changes. It's always going to be dunya. It's never going to be dunyu, dunyi, like that. It's always going to be dunya. It's majroor after fi. Here, it's majroor because it's mudaf ilayh. Kuribi at dunya. The difficulties or stressful things of the dunya. وَمَنْ سَتَرَ مُسْلِمًا, and whoever covered, satara, right? If you have a window and you put these things on there, right? These are called sitara, right? These curtains, sitara, right? Because they cover the window. Satara, from the shurut of salah, is satr al-awra, covering of the aura, right? Your private parts. وَمَنْ سَتَرَ مُسْلِمًا, whoever covers a Muslim, meaning he sees a Muslim doing something wrong, and that wrong is not impeding upon the rights of others. He's just doing something wrong. No one else knows about it, so you cover it up. You conceal it. سَتَرَهُ اللَّهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. Allah will cover it up for him in this life and in the next. والله في عون العبد ما كان العبد في عون أخيه. والله في عون. Allah is in the aun, from إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. Nasta'in, we said, comes from aun. Allah is in the aid and the assistance, al-abd, of a slave. Allah is in the aid of a slave, the assistance of a slave. Ma kan al-abd. For what? Or here we might say in English, just because English might require it, as long as. Allah is in the help of a slave. What? Kan al-abdu. The slave was fi auni akhihi, in the help of his brother. Akhihi. As long as. So as long Allah is in the service and in the help and assistance of a servant or a slave, as long as he is in the service and assistance and the help of his brother. وَمَنْ سَلَكَ طَرِيقًا يَلْتَمِسُ فِيهِ عِلْمًا, and whoever salaka, to travel, traverse, I think they say traverse, meaning whoever treads or travels or walks. Tariqan, a path. Whoever walks what? Whoever traverses what? A path. Maf'ulun bihi mansub. Whoever takes a path, travels a path, traverses a path. Yaltalmisu fihi ilma, from lam mim sin. We have here form 8, meaning he seeks. He's on that path seeking, and we said lamasa means to touch. When you reach out and you touch something, it's because you're trying to look for that thing, right? You're looking for that thing. You're seeking for it. You're desiring that thing that you reached out and touched. Yaltalmisu fihi ilma. He's seeking in it fihi in the tariq, on that path, or in his salaka, in his traveling and traversing ilma. Whoever takes a path, seeking in it knowledge. That path, or that seeking, or that traveling, he's seeking knowledge in it. Sahhalallahu lahu bihi tariqan ila al-jannah. Sahala is like yassara. He will make easy. When something is sahalun, it's easy. Sahhalallahu. Allah will make easy. Lahu. For him. Bihi. Because of it. Because of his sadaqah tariqan yatalmizu bihi ilma. Because of it. Allah will make for him, because of it, easy. Will make easy for him because of it. Tariqan. Make what easy? Make the path, or a path, easy. Ilal Jannah, towards paradise. Whoever travels a path, man sadaqa tariqan, yaltamisu fihi ilma, he's seeking in it knowledge. Sahalallahu lahu bihi, Allah will make easy for him because of it. Tariqan ilal Jannah, a path to paradise. Then he says, we've had that part and this part previously. وَمَا اجْتَمَعَ قَوْمٌ فِي بَيْتٍ مِّن بُيُوتِ اللَّهِ. وَمَا, and they do not. Here is a negation. Not. And they not. اجْتَمَعَ, gather. قَوْمٌ, a people. And a people do not gather. Fi baytin, in a house, min buyutillah, from the houses of Allah. Yatluna kitabullah, from ta lam wow, we'll look it up. Ta la wow, meaning to recite, tilawa, reciting kitabullah, the book of Allah. Kitab maf'ulun bihi, mansub. It's the object of the recitation. What are they reciting? They're reciting the book of Allah. وَيَتَدَارَسُونَهُ بَيْنَهُمْ. From daw, ra, sin. And they are studying it. يَتَدَارَسُونَ. They're studying it. Here, this is the same form 6 of when we had Tabagadu, Tadabaru, Tanajashu, Tahasadu. We can replace this. Tahasadu, right? Tabagadu. We could do that. It's the same form, meaning they're studying it between one another. Bainahum. Bainahum, between themselves, helps you with that meaning. But yatadarasuna, in and of itself, meaning they're going back and forth with ideas, with their comments, with their thoughts. So, وَمَجْتَمَعَ قَوْمٌ, a people do not gather, فِي بَيْتٍ مِّن بُيُوتِ اللَّهِ, in a house from the houses of Allah, يَتْلُونَ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ, reciting the book of Allah, وَيَتَدَارَسُونَ بَيْنَهُمْ, and studying it between themselves. إِلَّا, except, نزلت عليهم السكينة. السكينة, Sin, Kaf, Noon, means tranquility. Nazalat, because it's feminine, so Nazalat is feminine. Nazalat. Sakina, Nazalat, Noon, Zaylam, meaning to come down, descend. Right, we talk about the nuzul of Allah in the last third of the night. Allah descends, right? Nazalat alayhimus sakina. Sakina descends upon them. This dhamma here is for reading purposes. Nazalat alayhimus sakina. Tranquility descends upon them. وَغَشِيَتْهُمْ الرَّحْمَةِ. Ar-Rahma is feminine, so Ghashiyat is feminine. Ghashiya means to cover. Right? We have that in Surah Al-Baqarah in the beginning, ayat number 7. We say, what is it? وغشت قلوبهم والأبصار. I forgot right now. Give me 1 second. There, I just can't pull the ayah up in my head. ختم الله على قلوبهم. Allah put a seal on their hearts. وعلى سمعهم, and on their hearing. وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة, and on their vision a covering. A vision, they have a covering on their vision. وغشية is from that same. وغشيتهم الرحمة, and the rahmah will cover them. وحفتهم الملائكة. حفة, al-malaika is feminine, so haffat is feminine, right? The word, not that the angels themselves are feminine, they're not, but the word it is when it's plural. Haffat meaning to surround something, right? To surround something. We said hufit al-jannah bi al-makarih, that paradise is surrounded by difficult, unliked matters. Haffathum al-malaika, the angels surround them. وَذَكَرَهُمُ اللَّهُ, Allah here, lafdul jalala, is the fa'il. Allah is the doer of the dhakara. وَذَكَرَهُمُ اللَّهُ, and Allah will remember them or mention them. بِمَنْ عِنْدَهُ, He will mention them. بِمَنْ, in who, عِنْدَهُ, who is with Him. Meaning those noble angels who are close to Allah, Allah will mention them with them, to them, meaning those angels. So when Abdullah and Abu Tahir and Amir and Muharram and Zubair and so on get together and they study in any house from the houses of Allah, and Allah owns all the houses. Generally, we could say it means masjid, but it's more general than that as well. Anywhere you gather to study the book of Allah, reciting the book of Allah, studying amongst themselves, then the sakina will descend upon them, the rahmah will cover them, and Allah will mention those people. Biman indahu, to those who are with him. So He will mention Zubair and Abu Tahir and Abdullah and Amir and Muharram. He will mention them all to the angels. وَمَنْ بَطَّأَ بِهِ عَمَلُهُ وَمَنْ بَطَّأَ بِهِ عَمَلُهُ, and whoever, بَطَّأَ means to go slow. بَطَّأَ from bati', right? To go slow. بِهِ عَمَلُهُ, whoever goes slow, right? Bihi amalahu, amalahu, his actions. Whoever's traveling slow in it or on it, meaning this path. Bihi amalahu, his actions are taking him slow. He's not doing a lot of actions. Actions are going to be his like fuel for his moving. So he's going slow because he's doing the few actions. Lam yusri' bihi nasabuh. He will not be yusri'. Lam yusri'. This is majhul, passive. Yusri' from sara'a, to be fast. He will not be made faster. Bihi, in it, nasabuhu, meaning his nasab is his lineage. So whoever's going slow and his actions are what making him go slow because he's not doing many of them, lam yusri' bihi nasabu, his lineage is not going to cause him to go faster. Right? Rawahu, if I can scroll down, Rawahu Muslim bihadha al-lafz. Rawahu Muslim, Muslim narrated it bihadha, with this lafz, this wording. A lafz is either a pronunciation or wording. So Muslim narrated it with this wording. Any questions?
لا.
لا.
Abu Tahir. اقرأ لنا.
نعم. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: من نفس عن مؤمن قربة من قراب الدنيا نفس الله عنه قربة من قراب يوم القيامة. ومن يسر على معسر يسر الله عليه في الدنيا والآخرة. ومن ستر مسلما ستره الله في الدنيا والآخرة. والله في عون العبد ما كان العبد في عون أخيه. ومن سلك طريق يلتمس فيه علما سهل الله له به طريقا إلى الجنة. وما اجتمع قوم في بيت من بيوت الله يتلون كتاب الله ويتدارسونه بينهم إلا نزلت عليهم السكينة وغشيتهم رحمة وحفتهم الملائكة وذكرهم الله في من عنده. ومن بطأ به عمله لم يسرع به نسبه. رواه المسلم بهذا اللفظ.
جزاك الله خير. يا أمير. Are you with us, Amir?
النبي yeah نعم. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: من نفس من مؤمنين قربتان من قراب الدنيا نفس له عنه قربتان من قرب يوم القيامة. ومن يسر على معسر يسر له عليه في الدنيا والآخرة. ومن ستر مسلما ستره الله في الدنيا والآخرة. والله في عون العبد ما كان العبد في عون أخيه. ومن سلك طريقا يلتمس فيه علما سهل له به طريقا إلى الجنة. وما اجتمع قوم في بيت من بيوت الله يتلون
بيوت الله. Always. It's either going to be Allah or Allah. It's always going to be Allah. That Allah always has that long fatah. بيوت الله.
بيوت الله يحلون كتاب الله
كتاب الله
وكتاب الله ويتدارسونه بينهم إلا نزلت عليهم السكينة وغشيتهم الرحمة وحفتهم الملائكة وذكرهم الله بمن عنده ومن بطع به حمله لم يسرع به نسبه رواه مسلمون بهذا اللفظ.
نعم. عبد الله.
عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن النبي أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من نفس عن مؤمن كربة من كرب الدنيا نفس الله عنه كربة من كرب يوم القيامة ومن يسر على مؤسر يسر الله عليه في الدنيا والآخرة ومن ستر مسلما ستره الله في الدنيا والآخرة والله في عون العبد ما كان العبد في عون أخيه ومن سلك طريقا يلتمس فيه علما سهل الله له به طريقا إلى الجنة وما اجتمع قوم في بيت من بيوت الله يتلون كتاب الله ويتدارسونه بينهم إلا نزلت عليهم السكينة وغشيتهم الرحمة وحفتهم الملائكة وكثرهم الله في من عنده ومن بطأ به أمله لم يسرع به نسبه رواه مسلم بهذا اللفظ.
نعم. طيب. Inshallah, the next hadith, we got like 4 minutes left. The next hadith is another long hadith. And within the next 2 days, 3 days, we'll finish the 40 hadith of an-Nawawi. And then we will have the 8 remaining hadith of Ibn Rajab, rahimahullah. And depending on if there's Arabic conversation class and all that next week, we'll finish next Sunday or possibly Monday or Saturday or Sunday night for you guys. We'll finish this book and then we'll start phase 2, which will be the explanations. And we will, inshallah ta'ala, before Ramadan, we will be able to finish the explanation of Nawaqidul Islam. Bidnillah. I think we'll be able to finish it. I just looked at the days. We have class days. We have around 20 some class days from the time we finish the 40 or 50 hadith, right, with Ibn Rajab. Then we have about 20 some class days besides the Nahul Wadi days in order to, inshallah, read the explanation. Inshallah, we'll finish it. And then, in the meantime, you guys can think of if there is an appropriate time during Ramadan to do something. If there's an appropriate time during Ramadan, or if you think that you'd rather just focus on your reading of Quran and this and that, then guys just, can text me and let me know. But if you think there's an appropriate time for you, then we'll try to come up with something that we could do during Ramadan. Probably more in the daytime, since at night we'll be breaking fast in Taraweeh. It could be after Fajr your time, for example, or something like that. I don't know. You guys think about it and let me know. Yep. Assalamu alaikum. I'll see you brothers tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.